Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another exciting project pan update. This one is for my Pan Those Eyeshadows project pan, and the exciting update is I've hit a new pan. Hitting a new pan in this project is super exciting because that means I get to roll a new eyeshadow into my quintet to work on, which I think is super fun because I randomly select it. So to quickly explain how this project works, at the beginning of the year, I randomly selected 5 eyeshadows from my collection, and I have a spreadsheet behind me on my computer that has all of my eyeshadows on it and some other numbers that we'll go through in a second. So I have a way to track all of the eyeshadows in my collection. I used a random number generator to select 5 eyeshadows to work on, and I work on those eyeshadows either until I hit pan on an eyeshadow, at which point I roll it out and randomly select a new eyeshadow to roll in to take its place, or I hit 20 uses on an eyeshadow and I decide, hey, I don't think pan is in the future for this one, or I really haven't enjoyed using it. I'm gonna roll it out at 20 uses. I feel like that's given me enough usage on this eyeshadow that I may have not gotten otherwise, and I'm gonna roll it out. I try to avoid doing that as much as possible, but I've been in a few instances where I'm working on an eyeshadow like a black or like a really dark blue, I think last year, that I realized like, hey, pan is not happening for this because I've been using it mostly as like a liner, for example, and I'd rather roll something else in. I am working on a black shade currently, and I feel like I'm probably gonna end up doing that as well because I've been using it as an eyeliner, which I've been absolutely loving. But if you look at the progress clips, it barely looks like it's been touched, so I probably will roll that one out at 20 uses, but I am not there yet, although I am getting close, so I think that might be a next month thing. But either way, I have hit pan on another eyeshadow in this project, which is super exciting. We will be rolling that one out and another one in. But before we get into that, let's quickly go through my numbers in terms of where my eyeshadow collection sits right now and my pan percentage. So I haven't purchased any new eyeshadows this year, and I also haven't decluttered any eyeshadows this year, so my numbers remain the same. I have 213 eyeshadows. 15 of those are single shadows, 198 of those are across 11 different palettes. And my number of pans, so any eyeshadow that I've like actually like hit the metal pan on, like I've used enough eyeshadow that you can see the metal pan, has gone from 24 pans to 25 pans, which I'm so excited about. Love that I have 25 pans in my collection. I feel like that's like a cool number to hit, so I'm really excited about that. And my pan percentage has now gone up to 11.73%. Last month, it was at 11.26%. We are continuing to see that pan percentage grow, which is super exciting. I set a goal this year to hit 15%, so I'm hoping that we can keep making progress and hopefully get there this year, unless I decide to go crazy and buy a bunch of eyeshadow palettes, which, you know, I've been thinking about. There are a bunch of eyeshadow palettes in my carts at Ulta and Sephora, but I'm also like holding back because I don't want to mess up my pan percentage, which I guess this project is kind of helping me with, like not purchasing things that I probably don't need, so that's good too. But that leaves me with 188 eyeshadows to select from when we randomly roll our eyeshadow in at the end of this video, or towards the end of this video, because at the end of this video you actually see me doing an eyeshadow look with the 5 shades that I'm currently working on for the month. I like to do that in these videos, and you all seem to enjoy it as well. Let's go ahead and talk about the eyeshadows that are still going to stick around for next month. I'm gonna start with my ABH Jackie Aina palette, and the shade that I've been working on is this one right here called Lituation. I used this 10 times this month, and I am really starting to see a pretty good dip there, which is super exciting. I'm thinking in the next couple months, if I continue to use it as I have been, we will hit pan. I love this shade. I'm actually wearing it all over the lid today on top of a purple shade that's in this project. I wear it a lot in the outer corner of my eye, and that's like mostly how I've been wearing it, although I have worn it like all over the lid. So it's been just really fun to work with. I really like this palette in general, so I like having a shade in here because I tend to pull from some of the other colors occasionally as well, just because it's super accessible for me because I'm using it for this project. But in general, Lituation's been a real pleasure to work with. I've really enjoyed having this eyeshadow in this project and excited to just continue to see the progress on it. The next eyeshadow is from my Jaclyn Hill Morphe Volume 2 palette, and it is the shade right here called Good Place. I used this 5 times this month, and I also feel like there's starting to be a dip in this shade. Hopefully you'll be able to see it in the close-ups, but definitely in person, it is starting to happen. This is the shadow that I have all over my lid underneath Lituation today. And I've also been wearing it a lot in my outer corner as well when paired with a shade you will see in a bit. This is such a pretty color and it's been fun to play with a little bit more for spring. I was disappointed last month because I only used it maybe like 2 or 3 times, and so happy to have 5 uses on it. Still not exactly where I want it, but I think I'm figuring out ways on how to like wear it more and more, so hopefully that number will continue to grow. But like I said, there's starting to be a little bit of a dip in this one as well, which is super exciting, and so hopefully we'll be able to see more visible progress over the next couple months as well, and then hit pan on it. So the next 3 shades are all from my Jaclyn Hill Morphe Volume 1 palette. I continually randomly select shades from this palette to roll into this project, but what can you do? So I'm gonna talk about the 2 shades that are sticking around before we jump into the shade that I hit pan on for this month. So first shade that I wanna talk about is this one right here. This is called Morphe Diva. It's this really pretty green, similar to the Good Place. I have been wearing it a lot in the outer corner paired with a shade in this palette that you will see in a minute. And I've been really liking it for that, and I really enjoy the green. I think it's gonna work even better as like we're moving into the warmer months in the spring, and so it's been fun to wear. And I used it 5 times this month, so again, similar to the Good Place, like not as much usage as I wanted, but definitely more than last month, which is exciting. And I also feel like I'm starting to see some visible progress on this one as well. I'm just gonna keep working through those 2 shades and hopefully slowly but surely make progress on them, but very excited to kind of start seeing progress in both of those pans. And then the other shade that's sticking around is this shade right here. This is Morphe Abyss. This is the one that I've been using a lot as a liner, or pretty much exclusively as a liner. It's just a really nice matte black shade. And so I used this one several times this month. I used it 9 times. My goal is definitely to hit 20 uses on this one by next month. But super great shadow to have in. Like I said, I used it 9 times, so definitely pulled it in several times as a liner, and really do enjoy using it like that. I think it adds a little extra to the look. So happy to have it in to be able to use it for that. And then the last shade is the shade that I am rolling out, the shade I hit pan on, and actually the most recent shade that I rolled in. So it is this one right here. This is the shade Faint, and I used this one 15 times to hit pan on it. But that honestly is the benefit of having an eyeshadow roll-in that you already had usage on. I definitely had usage on this one prior to rolling it in, and then I was able to use it 15 times because I felt like it just went with like every other eyeshadow. So I usually would wear Faint on like the inner half of my eye, and then either put Lituation or put the Good Place or put Diva on the outer half of my eye, and then just blend it all together, and it looked great. I loved using it like that, and I was able to use it 15 times this month and hit a pan. So really excited that I was able to roll it in last month and roll it out this month, and also really excited to just have some more really visible usage in this palette, but also just in general. So loved that one, obviously, and was able to make it work and hit a pan. So super excited about that. And so these are the 4 that are sticking around. And without further ado, I'm gonna pull up my random number generator and let's go ahead and select the new eyeshadow that will be replacing Faint. 148. Okay, so 148 comes from my ColourPop So Jaded palette, and it is the shade right here called Geodude. So this is kind of like a moss green matte. This is definitely an interesting one to roll in. I think this could be a really great crease shade. As you all know, I am working very hard on finishing my Morphe Creme Brulee crease shade, so definitely will continue to be focusing on this eyeshadow until I finish it. But this one could be really nice to like mix with that, or maybe lay it all over the lid. I don't exactly know how I want to wear this yet, but excited to have something a little different. I haven't really had too many matte shades in this project, so this one will be fun to work on. I will say I feel like it is very hard to hit pan in this palette. I have some pretty deep holes, particularly like in garnet over here, that I worked on last year, and I just have not hit pan. I think these pans are pretty deep, and I also think these mattes are pretty tightly pressed. So this one might be hard to get to where we need to go in terms of hitting pan, but you know, I don't think that should stop me from being excited to work on it, because I think it's something very different and I think it'll add something new and different to my eye looks. So very excited to have that roll in. And these are the 5 shades that I'm going to be working on for the next month. And like I said a little bit earlier, how I like to end these videos is actually doing a look with all 5 shades. So I will jump to that. It'll probably be tomorrow or the next day. So I hope you all enjoy that part of the video. So it is in fact the next day and I'm getting ready and I'm gonna use all 5 eyeshadows today. So I'm still going to start with my Makeup Geek Creme Brulee in my crease because I'm very determined to finish this, and I know I just rolled in the Geodude, which I'm probably gonna also use as a crease shade, but I would feel bad almost if I didn't use this one as well, because we're getting so close to being done with it. So I'm just putting it in to my crease and blending it out. Okay, I am now also going to pick up Geodude, which is the new shade that I just rolled in, and I'm gonna put that into my crease as well, and I'm also gonna bring it down onto the lid. And to be honest, I hadn't really thought much further than that. I knew I was gonna do that with both of those shades, but I have not really considered much more. So we're gonna see. But I did like what I did yesterday, which is I put the Good Place down and then layered Lituation on top of that. So I'm wondering if I kind of do that with both Diva and the Good Place. And so maybe I'll put the Good Place on the inner half and Diva on the outer half and then put a little bit of Lituation on top. I think I might try that. I have no idea how this is gonna come out. I feel like a lot of times when I use all 5 shades, I'm like, ugh, this could look okay or it could look terrible. So I'm gonna take Diva and I'm gonna start that in the outer corner. Now that that's down, I'm gonna take this brush and pick up Good Place and put that on the inner half of my lid. Okay, now that the colors are down, I'm gonna spend a little while here blending. I'm gonna pick up Lituation on this flat brush and I'm just gonna put this all over both shades on my eye. I'm not grabbing a ton here. I don't want to lose like the pigment of the other colors. I just want this to kind of add a little bit of dimension to the look. I think the last shade that I need to use still is Abyss. So going to do what I always do with it, which is just pick it up on this flat little angled brush and do a little line. For the lower lash line, I think I'm just gonna keep it pretty simple and pick up Geodude and just smudge that out. I feel like the inner corner definitely needs to be brightened up, so I'm just gonna grab Trust Issues from my Jackie Aina palette and throw that in the inner corner. I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of my makeup and I'll be back to show you the final look. So this is the final look. I don't love it, I don't hate it. I feel like I do these looks a lot of times and they all come out kind of being like okay in my eyes. There's been a couple that I like actually have really enjoyed. But I will say that I've been enjoying laying Lituation over the Good Place, and I think I really like it over Diva too, so that's good for me to know and be able to wear moving forward. It just kind of adds a little bit of dimension to it, tones down some of like the brightness, which for me is like great for work. I'm definitely happy that I experimented with that, and I know that I'll be able to create some more looks that I really enjoy. Like I said, I feel like sometimes it's hard creating a look with all 5 shadows, but definitely good for, you know, ending the video and just getting to see how they all play together. So I hope all of you enjoyed this video and liked getting to see my pan and my new roll-in. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And thank you so much for watching. I hope all of you are doing well and staying safe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.